get our full-blown acceleration here. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Alfa Romeo Giulia TI all-wheel drive. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Alfa Romeo here in Salt Lake for giving me some time with this Giulia. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. So under the hood we have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 23 around town and then 31 on the highway, with power outputs being 280 horsepower and then 306 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go to the front end of the Giulia, and first off, I think finished in black, this car looks absolutely fantastic and it really accentuates all of the body lines. You can see here on the hood, just looks absolutely fantastic. Coming down below, we've got the projector bulbs with the LED accent lights. We've got the signature Alfa Romeo grille there with the logo in the center, and then we do have parking sensors here along the front, and then I love the venting here on either side. And yeah, just overall, the front end definitely looks like a work of art. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 25mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then this one does have painted brake calipers. You can see the brake calipers are finished there in red. And then I love the design of the wheel. There's a ton of spokes, super intricate, just looks good overall. And then other than that, notice how plain everything is here on the side, which I really like. There's no crazy badging or anything like that, just a nice clean look. You can see the body lines all going across. But yeah, the contrast between the wheels and the black paint, and then also you have the outlining around the windows, I think that all looks really good. Now popping here into the trunk area of the Giulia, first off you notice that you've got these latches here to throw down the rear seats. I think the storage space back here is actually really solid. And then we've got this little tray thing that you can pick up. And notice you've got a little bit of extra storage space underneath and some tools if you ever get stranded on the side of the road. And well, other than that, see ya. Now let's finish things up here in the rear. So first off, we've got the Q4 badge to let you know that this has the all-wheel drive, and then we've got the Giulia badge, parking sensors here on the bottom, and then you can see the exhaust tips here on either side. Definitely gives it a sporty look since they did a dual outlet exhaust, but again, it's pretty clean here in the rear. They don't have a bunch of crazy stuff happening, so it just lends to really nice design. And I guess I almost forgot, taillights. You guys know I'm a huge fan. Now here's a door panel in the rear. So first off, we've got this beautiful soft touch leather here at the top with the stitching, and then you guys can see it continues down below, and then you've got it on the armrest. Really nice wood trim right here, a couple speakers for the sound system. And then here are the seats in the rear. So again, beautiful leather, really nice stitching all throughout. And I will pop in quickly so you guys can see legroom if you're wondering. About 6 feet tall, and well, my head pretty much touches the top. I've got like a little bit of room. It's mostly my hair, but yeah, a little bit cramped on the headroom side of things here in the back. But anyways, got some vents, got heated seats with a couple of USB ports. Then you guys can see some cup holders as well, but let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel in the front. So again, we've got that beautiful leather here with the contrasted stitching, and then more leather just down below. We've got the wood trim up here with our little door handle, the door lock and unlock. Couple more speakers for the sound system, and then all of our window controls with the mirror adjustment. And then here are the seats at the front. So we've got the Alfa Romeo logo, beautiful leather all throughout, and then notice the stitching in the center. Got your power adjustments there on the side. And then here are the pedals just down below, really nice in terms of the trim on those. Got the window control right here, and there's one more look before we pop in. So here's the steering wheel in the Giulia. So first off, notice we've got the beautiful leather wrapped all around the steering wheel with the nice stitching there on the center portion. And then just notice the different cuts here through the steering wheel. I think those look really cool. And then we've got this piano black trim here at the bottom. Stop start button on the steering wheel, just like a Ferrari. We've got our cruise control and then our lane keep assist as well. Volume and phone controls on the one side. And then you got the stock there for the turn signal and then the windshield wipers. And that's all for the steering wheel. Now here's the gauge cluster in the Giulia. We've got the RPMs over there on the left side. On the right side, we've got the speed, and then we've got that digital screen there in the center portion. And then on top of that, we have some different drive modes we can go through. So right now we're in the N mode, and then we have the A mode, which is going to be kind of like your all-weather driving mode. The N is kind of like your daily driver mode. And then we've got the D, which is the dynamic mode, which is your sporty driving mode. And those are the 3 different modes that you can go between with it. And you guys probably saw those pop up there in the bottom portion. And also, 114 degrees. I don't know how I'm doing this. Here's the center infotainment system. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse. So notice that you've got a little depiction there because remember it does have parking sensors, and then we've got trajectory lines there for the camera as well. Resolution on it's really solid. Now, as for the rest of the screen, this is actually a touchscreen now, which is pretty cool. They still have the analog controls, so you can basically do the touchscreen function on it if you want, or there's some buttons and there's a dial here, so you can do either, whichever you basically prefer. Both of them actually work great. This does have the performance pages you guys can see there. Sorry about the glare today. Pretty horrible with the sunlight. But yeah, overall, really good infotainment system, easy to use, and I'm glad it's a touchscreen now. Now here's the vents here, and then the hazard lights in the middle, and then we've got the climate controls just down below. This does have dual zone climate, and then we've got a little USB right there with a 12 volt and some extra storage space here, a couple cup holders. We've got the shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission. You do have a manual function, and we've got our parking brake right here, the drive mode select. This is all for the infotainment system and the radio, and look at the really nice wood trim that's all around it. We've got our wireless phone charger that's kind of sitting inside of here, and then we've got more USBs and an auxiliary. And then notice we've got more wood trim there just above the glove box, pretty normal glove box, and then nice leather all over the dash. And this thing I want to mention is just look how beautiful that is from an interior standpoint between the leather and the wood. Definitely feels nice and upscale and luxury. And then finishing things here at the top, we do have a dual sunroof, so you have the one up here, and then you also have another one there in the back. Pretty interesting. Controls for it are just right here, and then you can see regular mirror, universal garage door openers, and that's all for the top. So here's our window sticker for the Giulia. You guys can see that we've got the base price there of $45,000 before any of the options are added. And you can see all of the standard equipment that this comes with from the factory, quite a bit. And we can get into the optional package. So first off, the Lusso package, which is kind of like your luxury package, but there's quite a bit added to this particular one. And again, freezer frame if you can read everything. And then you can see the total MSRP there, $53,390. Let's take her out and see how she drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here in the Giulia. So first off, visibility over the hood, and then through both the mirrors. They do have blind spot monitoring, and then the rest of the rear, and let's set off. We are setting off here in the Giulia, and first off, let's talk about the ride quality and the road noise, because I mean, ultimately this is supposed to be a luxury car. So first off, from a ride quality perspective, it's actually really smooth, and that's not something that you typically see in this segment of luxury car, right? They're usually a little bit rougher because they're smaller sized cars, and on top of that, right, they're kind of more towards the sporty side. I'm not talking about just about the Giulia, just cars of this size. So think like BMW 2 Series and 3 Series, for example. Now, aside from the ride quality, I mean, I'll turn down the AC all the way, suffer for a second. Yeah, pretty quiet from a road noise perspective as well, so that's definitely a huge plus. Brakes on it are good. I love how this car feels though. You can definitely tell that it definitely has a sharp edge to it, just from like the braking feel, and then also with the slight accelerations as well. It definitely just kind of feels really snappy right off the bat, which is definitely a huge plus. And this is the world's longest red light. There we go. Finally. So yeah, you can definitely, even just lightly getting into it, you can feel there's a little bit of turbo lag, but once you get into it, it definitely feels quick and feels punchy. We'll get a full-blown acceleration up here in just a second, and then I'll pop it into the dynamic mode as well. Yeah, I really like the feeling of those brakes. They definitely have a nice feeling to them. And the steering too, it's actually got really good steering feel. It's very direct. It's very, very direct, which is definitely a huge plus. Definitely adds the sportiness. Definitely feels, well, that road's kind of beat up, but also feels firmer here in the dynamic mode from a ride quality standpoint. And then we'll get our full-blown acceleration here. It actually pulls all the way to redline, which is pretty impressive. Most 4-cylinder engines that are 2 liters, they usually don't do that. But this, I mean, boom. And it's quick too. That 8-speed automatic is definitely a really quick shifting transmission, really solid from that perspective. And I'll pop it back into the natural mode, and then let's get into setting things up here with this Giulia. So first off, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Alfa Romeo styling. It's super unique, it's super beautiful. Like, this definitely has function to it, but it also, from a form perspective, just top notch. Absolutely love it. And then aside from that, popping to the interior, with the packages this has that adds the extended leather on the dash and all the really nice wood trim and everything, it's a really nice place to be. It feels like a very nice luxury car. And then it's comfortable from a ride quality perspective when you have it in the natural mode. And then on top of that, from a road noise perspective, like I said, the cabin's really well insulated, so it definitely is solid from that perspective as well. So it definitely just does good overall. And then if we that turn signal is kind of weird. It like just pops off so quickly. Anyways, other than the turn signal being a little bit annoying, it's comfortable, it's quiet, and then it's quick, and it has a fun sporty edge to it as well. Like, the acceleration is really good for this base engine. If you want more power, you obviously have the Quadrifoglio model that you can get, but this base engine's really solid. The transmission's really quick to respond, the chassis is, the steering's quick to respond. Overall, it's just a really fun sporty driving experience. And so if you want that and all-wheel drive and a great daily driver, check out the new Giulia. Now that's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2021 Alfa Romeo Giulia TI all-wheel drive. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Alfa Romeo here in Salt Lake for giving me some time with the Giulia. Check out their inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.